G'day, Steve Morgan here, Australian Bass Tournaments and Fishing Monthly magazines. Another Tackle Fridays today. It's a segment we started when we were, I don't know if we were bored, but we had a Friday afternoon about a month ago and decided we'd just give you a bit of a look at stupid things that I'm buying, things I'm putting together for future events and other stuff which just randomly turns up into the Fishing Monthly and ABT offices. And it's been pretty popular. It's sort of a little bit discouraging though, where the Tackle Friday segment, which takes you 15 minutes to make, is more popular than your highlights, which take you 2 days to make. But anyway, is what it is. Both of them live on my YouTube channel, Steve Morgan. Google, search that on YouTube, or on my Facebook page in the videos. I publish them in both places, or in fact on my Instagram Reels. So you can get them in any of those places. And I thought I'd start today with another piece of superfluous spending. You've seen recently, bought myself halfway through last year my number plate, Brim. They cost a few $1,000 in Queensland, but you get to keep them forever with no additional charges. I got one from my trailer only a couple of months ago. It was 8RE4M. Looks like Brim. They're only about $400, so that's sort of superfluous. This costs more than that. I've been wanting one of these ever since I discovered big swim baits. This is a Roman-made mother. I nearly bought one last time I was at the Yokohama Tackle Show for nearly $500 back there, but it was pink. It was sort of this colour pink. And I was like, oh, I really want the bait, but I don't like the colour. Well, my favourite colour is white in lures, and one came up. It came up on eBay, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy something superfluous. This is the first collector's lure that I've ever bought. Am I going to throw it? Yeah, it's secondhand. It's been thrown a little bit already, so I am definitely going to try and catch a barramundi on that, but it is also going to take pride of place in my tackle junkie room out there. It's a Roman-made mother. They're a wooden bait. They have all sorts of weights inside them. This one's a sinking model, very big glide bait. So that cadence of just winding it slowly, this thing sort of darts from side to side. My job in the next couple of years is to see if I can get a barramundi eating that. So superfluous purchase or not, definitely superfluous. Am I going to tell you what I paid for it? About 500 Australian dollars, but that was the cheapest one I've found in years on eBay or anywhere. So I thought the price was right. If I ever get sick of it, I can probably sell it for what I paid for it. But hell yeah, I'm going to throw it. Roman-made mother. It's not the biggest swim bait they make either. They do make another bigger one, which is about this big, and retails for over $1,000 if you can find one new anywhere in the world. Let's talk a little bit now about more realistic sized fishing glide baits. Here's half of one of my old favourite glide baits, the old Evergreen ES Flat. That was one of my last ones that I had, probably made for largemouth bass and not for barramundi. I picked some of these up a while ago on Facebook Marketplace off Anthony Thorpe. Thorpe, if you're watching, they've come to my place to live now. They are not going to live on the wall. They're going to go and get thrown and hopefully eaten by barra. Thorpe had even got the hooks. They're the proper size hooks on there for barra. So all I do is pull them out of the box and away we go. So they just missed Barra Tour this year. They came a couple of days late in the post. Thank you, Australia Post. But they're all going to be ready for this year coming. For me, they're a great glide because they cast well. They're exactly the right size for an eating size bony brim for the Barra. But the bites that I've had on these things over the years are savage. Like when they eat these things, they don't eat them territorial reasons or anything. They just want to eat them. So I've thrown these things at Kinchin where you sort of slow, intermittent wind them, so they just sort of swim a bit. Whenever I get a bite on these, it near rips the rod out of your hand, and I always have to go down in the throat to get it out, and you always have to retie the last 6 or 8 inches of leader. They get them down so deep. I fished them on that 55 or 70 pound Schneider straight through, and I got 2 more for the collection. I had 0, I'm up to 2 again now, so they will come out later in the year for Barra Tour. One of the things I've been pushing a little bit recently because I love them so much, not just because Maui Gym's a good sponsor of ABT now, are these Maui Gym glasses. By far the most entries we've had in the Maui Gyms on the weekend, because we have loaner Maui Gyms you can take out now, are in these ones with the readers included. Now I've talked about that in the Tackle Fridays before. Put it on, look down your nose, and I can tie a 2-pound line, read things. It's all awesome. We are going to have these ones with the magnifiers. There's 3 sorts of magnification, 1.5, 2, and 2.5 times in those magnifiers. We're going to have loaners of those at ABT events. A lot of guys took advantage of our loaner Mauis for the Gippsland events, for the brim and the bass. They borrowed the glasses, used them for a day, worked out if the frames were good for their face. and then they can go away and order it. Maui Gym's website's really easy to order off. You just tell them the frame number, the lens that you like, if you want the magnifiers on, and the colour, and they sort of custom make them up for you. For your information, these are 1.5 are the lowest magnification. They're good for me as a 51-year-old to tie that 2-pound line. But ever since wearing these for the last few weeks, love them. I sit there at night time tying things on with them, turning the light brighter so I can see them through there. Probably should just get some magnifying glasses to tie my stuff, but there you go. For your own interest, the lenses I love, and people ask me this all the time, the HT high transmission lenses, and that frame is Southern Cross, which seems to be the one that a lot of anglers prefer to fit their face. So if you've got a normal sort of shape and size face, this may be the lens for you. But if it's a little bit skinnier, bigger, you know, the Jason Mayberries of the world have a different size, probably an extra large size head with a lot of brains in it. That's you might want a different sort of frame glasses, but we have those to try on at ABT events now. So the Mauis were really, really good, especially on that last day at Malakuta when we were sight fishing all those fish. More news. I talked to Adam Costa this morning from fishing.com.au. Adam has solved the stick minnow shortage problem. Of course, you all know I love to fish stick minnows. I haven't even got a stick minnow here as an example to show you because they're all in my boat, which is down in Melbourne. Same as my car down in Melbourne. It's going to wait for a few weeks until we pick it up and go to Tasmania. But he has stick minnows in the old favourite 007 colour, which is like a brown, translucent on the bottom, brown on the top, looks like a bit of a shrimp underwater. I've ordered some from him today. I've ordered 10 stick minnows off him today, and I think he had around 200, he said, in stock that he picked up from, I don't even know where. Adam's got his own secret sources of where he gets all of his tackle. He'll put hooks on them for yourself and sell them because TMCO don't make them anymore. Tackle's out of business, which are the two ones that I used to use. There are a few generic makers that use the Chinese moulds to make them up, but Adam's found some, and I've always found Adam really good on getting the stuff to me. So I've put a picture of them in the cutaway here. They're the stick minnows that he have, great looking colour. Caught my equal biggest fish on the last day at Malakuta on a stick minnow, so I'm always throwing those things on 2-pound line and always losing plenty. Buy the bites first, worry how you're going to catch the fish later. So stick minnows, the shortage may have stopped, maybe. But the big news, of course, is in a couple of weeks, we're going to go down to Tasmania. As I said, the car and the boat's down there. We're back in the office to do a few weeks of work, get all the stuff ready. We're going to send all the prize boxes down with Hobie, and we're doing this sort of shared road trip, the Hobie events and the ABT events. And broadly, the itinerary is there's a Hobie event. In between the two Hobie events, we're running the Tasmanian Open Teams event, which is the free event, sponsored by Duo, where we're testing out the Huon as a venue. After that event, we go back to the Swan River, and we've got an event there on the Swan River. And then straight after that, bang into the two ABT boat events, which are Derwent and St Helens. So it's for us, it's a 5-event schedule. For a lot of the kayakers, it might be a 2-event, or the boaters, a 3-event schedule down there. We're pretty tired after running those Victorian events 4 in a row. And under Cole's holding the camera here, she did a fantastic job on those Victorian events. So Tasmania hopefully will seem like a little bit of a holiday with the Hobie guys taking charge of doing their events. We can actually go fishing in those ones. Now, getting ready for Tassie, you know, I believe in the sponsor karma thing. Every team's going to get a handful of duo boats anyway, but I've been sort of finding my own. And these are the 2 duo baits that I believe are going to play this year. This one here, I've used before down there, the Realis Minnow 80, and it's actually in this size, the ones I used. It was probably 4 years ago down in Tassie. I would use these along the shallow, rocky foreshores in Tas, and they are sort of identical in profile and colour to the little bait fish that are in there. So that seems like a really big lure at 80 mil long, but it isn't, because the average size black bream in the Derwent especially is going to be up around 1 kilo this year. So I've already made sure I've stocked up with my own stocks of these before we go and get our free ones at the Duo event. Remember, Duo event, free event, teams event, trophies, badges, everything, but we're not charging an entry fee because you're helping us work out if it's a great venue. But if you're a bit scared of the 80mm minnow and you want something a little bit smaller, this is also a suspending minnow, and the blacks, of course, love the suspending minnow. This one's called the Rosanti. It's a 68mm, and let's have it in comparison there to the 80. So there you go. It's just a little bit shorter, a tiny bit deeper in the body, and I think it's a little bit thicker in the body as well. But the main thing is it's a suspending bait. And
As a yellowfin fisherman from up in Queensland, the very first thing I learn in Tassie is that you want a suspending bait. You don't want to twitch a lure in front of a fish and it to float to the top, or you don't want it to rocket to the bottom. And the other thing I learned as a Queenslander on black bream is always use the scent. So many times I've been given a hiding by my non-boater because they've got scent on and I don't. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you use scent or not. Guess what? For the black bream, I think it does, because I've had times where I've been 5-0 down from me nonny. I put some scent on, and within an hour, we're back to having 5 each in the well. So these two little suspending baits in Tassie, 100% they don't mind a chromey sort of bait. In fact, I prefer that sort of chromey finish. You can see it on both of them there. I would select a chromey bait over a translucent natural bait that I would use for yellowfin every day of the week. So I've got a few of those ready to go down to the big plane to get to Tassie again. And let me show you another staple for Tassie. You know, some of the staples I don't have here at the moment that you're going to want are the double clutches from Daiwa. Whether it's the deeper diving, the bigger one, or the 65mm one, the medium diving one, or in fact the little 40-something mil one now, they always play in Tassie. But here's a lure that I sort of didn't use for many years, and when I started using it, I thought, why didn't I start using it early? Because everyone else was on them. These are the Mauis laydown minnow. They're distributed by Eco Gear in Australia, same sort of parent company. They have got wickedly sharp hooks on that you see I've been struggling with there. And these chromey-sided small laydown minnows are absolutely brim lollies for the Tasmanian blacks down there. So I've got half a dozen of those that I've got packed in the box, and I'm definitely going to throw them more this year than I have in previous years. One of the things about them, the factory hooks are so fine. They're a really fine gauge hook, and like most things that eat on the paws or on the drop, the fish will hook themselves on those. It's not up to you to set the hooks on them. They will grab that lure, and that action of grabbing it, they will put that lure into those hooks into their own mouths. So those little jerk baits, by the time I got the laydown minnow, compare it with the Rosanti, which is a little bit bigger, compare it with the frivolous minnow, which is a little bit bigger again. I think I should have a lot of my bases covered for that shallow water jerk baiting. And let's face it, that's what Tassie is famous for. One of the things that's going to be interesting about Tassie this year is it going to fish better than Victoria? Holy mackerel, Victoria fished amazingly last week. Fish size was up there. Did you know there were 30 40-centimetre plus brim recorded in the Gippsland Lakes tournament alone? And then there was another 1 40-centimetre brim recorded in Malakuta. So the question for us now is, Gippsland Lakes the best brim fishery in Australia? The evidence says it probably could be. If Tassie wants to knock it off, we're going to have to pull 32 40 forkers plus in Tassie to see if it's done. Granted, the fields are going to be a little bit smaller. Tassie's always famous for big bags. If you haven't got 5 kilos, you're not playing the game, blah, blah, blah. Let's see how good it fishes. My spies in Tassie tell me it's fishing pretty bloody well this year as well. So will the first 2 events of the Dial with Brim series be followed up with another 2 events of amazing captures? We really hope so. Really big thanks also to the guys from Hobie. We share infrastructure with them. We share a bit of staffing with them. They run a fantastic tournament, to be honest. I think there are more staff per angler in Hobie events than in our events. It's always great to go there and enjoy the hospitality that Chris Purnell and the guys put on. It's going to be a great tour of Tassie. So that's what's been going on this week. That's what's turned up. I love my Roman maid. It's pretty bloody heavy, actually. Don't tell anyone I bought it. It's a bit of a secret at the moment. We'll see you next Friday.